Investment seasons are periods where you dedicate time, energy, and resources to self-improvement. This phase is about planting seeds for future growth with benefits that might not be immediately visible. Some examples include like enrolling in courses, networking, or building healthy habits. Then you have harvest seasons, which are phases where you reap the rewards of your earlier investments. It's when you make public the compounding effects of your private work and realize some tangible benefits. Some examples include launching a paid product or working towards a promotion at work or exhibiting your art. So first, an insight into how I work, then the key components of investment versus harvest seasons, and finally, how you can apply seasonal thinking to your life. First, why most people struggle with personal development. I know, you've heard that personal development is the best investment that you can make, and you probably buy into that idea. So do I. But be honest, how much time do you put into your own personal development? Really, like, focused time. Considering that it's the best investment you can make, are you treating it that way? Most don't. I sure as heck wasn't, and the dumbest part of it all was that I was one of those guys spouting the trope that it's so important, but still, I wasn't doing it. Why? Because it's hella hard to sit down and do the work, to build the skills and knowledge in private when in public it feels like everybody else is having so much success. Growth is a cycle. Build skills, apply them, repeat. This cyclical approach is simple, sustainable, powerful. It's top of mind because I'm about to shift seasons. You see, I just wrote the acknowledgements for my next book, which means that it's done. Now, before beginning to write that book, I dove into an investment season. I got the life experience, I did subject matter research, I built the habits and routines to enable me to write daily. The writing of the book is the harvest season, but it only happens because of previous investments. Once I submit it at the end of the month, it'll trigger a change in season back to a season of skill building. You need time to learn and develop and a time to benefit from that learning and development. Of course, there's going to be carryover between the two, right? But I found that focus is paramount to success in either. That, and it keeps things interesting and it helps to eliminate the guilt associated with one or the other. You see, when I'm learning, I want to learn. When I'm selling, I want to sell. And over time, this develops into a rhythm. You first invest into yourself, then you capitalize on those investments, which in turn funds your next investment into yourself, and so on. My next investment season is most likely fiction writing. I'm feeling this pull to write fiction for some reason for my next book. It's going to require a different storytelling and book planning skill set. Instead of stressing over it, I'm diving deep into building the skills in the network, and it's a learning phase. Tomorrow, for example, I'm in New York City. I'm just there for the day. And I've scheduled a lunch and a dinner with 5 to 7 different authors each. I fly home the next morning. There's no agenda other than to break bread with other people ahead of me, to learn from them. I'm paying for my flight and a hotel, and I'll pick up the check at each meal. In all, it'll cost probably about $2,000. It's not an expense, that's an investment. These people have access to knowledge that I don't have. How did I set these up? I just asked these people. I enlisted the help of a friend. We made a list of authors in New York City. We asked friends if they knew anybody, and we sent cold invites. You see, everybody wants to be connected. Few do the work to connect. They get to know others like them. I get the benefit from learning from anybody. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read and study a lot more of the greats. See, my next book might be a parable. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the library and check out some of the best-selling parables of all time. I know how to plan a nonfiction book, but not fiction. And so this is going to be an area of study for the next 2 months. Finally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explore different tools to use artificial intelligence to augment my abilities and help me with world building and things like character development. I don't know what's out there, but I'll use the next investment season to explore anything that could supercharge my abilities in this. During your investment season, there's actually 4 aspects to develop. There's skills, there's your habits and routines, there's network, and there's technology. Now, there's 2 more considerations before moving on, how you can apply seasonal thinking to your life. The first is that resilience is built through diversification. Just as farmers plant drought-resistant crops alongside traditional ones and investors spread assets across multiple vehicles, you should diversify your skills and activities to build personal resilience. You see, by developing a varied skill set, you create redundancies against unexpected disruptions, ensuring that a single setback is not going to take you out of the game entirely. This preparedness, it's not about fear, it's about creating options for yourself when you face circumstances beyond your control. Deliberately expanding your capabilities across different domains allows you to pivot when necessary, reducing your vulnerability to any single threat and strengthening your ability to navigate this unpredictable world. The most resilient people aren't necessarily the most specialized, but rather those who can adapt and move forward regardless of what challenges arise. Now, the second is that long-term focus, it's paramount to success. Not the first person to say this, man. Adopt habits that reinforce patience, such as journaling progress or setting long-term milestones, whatever works for you. I don't journal, but it works for other people, so cool. Journal if you're a journal guy. Recognize that returns on investment, whether personal or financial, they're going to take time to materialize. View personal development through a long-term lens, not in months or even years, but in decades. The most meaningful growth often happens slowly, almost imperceptibly day to day, yet grows profound when you view it across larger time frames. Remember that consistency over time, it creates compound effects. Small daily actions accumulate into significant transformation when sustained over years. You got to cultivate the ability to stay committed during those plateaus when visible progress seems minimal, knowing that these periods, they often precede breakthrough moments. All that having been said, here's how to apply this seasonal thinking to your life. First, in your investment season, explore. Try new things, say yes more often, attend the events, meet the people, test the routines. These are your planting months. Explore broadly without pressure to commit. Here's some key actions. You want to join multiple groups, communities, engage in learning opportunities. You want to audit courses, read widely, attend workshops to sample different areas. You want to focus on building connections and understanding how different domains operate, and then don't worry about mastery or big commitments. This phase is about exposure. The purpose of your investment season is to lay the groundwork for future meaningful involvement. It's to learn what fits your interests, your values, and your time availability. And it's to build friendships and network that can support your growth. Because then, in your harvest season, you commit. You double down, you go deeper, you cut what's not working, you lead, refine, focus. These are your growth months, where meaningful progress happens through deliberate effort. Some key actions during your harvest season are to narrow your focus to one area you care most about, take on leadership or high contribution roles, and apply what you've learned during investing to create value. Now, why are you doing all this? To gain satisfaction and confidence through contribution and visible results, to create tangible outcomes from your previous investments, and to actually make something or launch something or sell something. For example, if your frame is audience or brand building in your investment season, you want to study the top performers on that platform, you want to create content, you want to network and collab with other creators. During the harvest season, you want to launch a product or host an event. Now, you could also look at this through a frame of health and fitness. In your investment season, you want to experiment with different fitness routines, you want to build habits, you want to eat clean. In your harvest season, there's a performance, maybe it's a race or an event. Maybe it's a wedding, maybe it's a vacation, right? All works the same. Now, the question I always get is, how do you know when it's time to shift seasons? Harvest seasons typically have natural endpoints, like when I submit my book in manuscript. Right? For you, it might be launching a product, completing a certification, finishing a major project. These transitions are often marked by clear deliverables or events. Investment seasons, however, they can stretch indefinitely if you're not careful. So I actually recommend setting a specific time frame, usually 30 to 60 days or so. Calendar a concrete end date that coincides with starting a project or event that'll utilize your new skills. This deadline creates healthy pressure, prevents endless preparation without application. The goal isn't mastery before harvesting, instead, sufficient competence. It's a dance you do, improving with every step. You got to start broad, get a feel, and then choose where to go deep. By recognizing which season you're in, you can better plan your energy, your time, and your resources. Personal development is most effective when approached as a cycle, not a sprint. Each investment season, it lays the groundwork for future harvests. This rhythmic approach to growth not only prevents burnout, but creates sustainable progress that compounds over time. When you understand and honor these natural cycles, you'll find growing yourself in ways that it feels purposeful and sustainable. As always, thank you for listening. Subscribe. If you're listening to somebody, you can subscribe. And I have a favor to ask. If you can just send this to one person, spouse, a colleague, a friend, who you think might benefit or might just particularly like it, I'd really appreciate that. Hope you're good. Hope you have a good day. Talk soon.